This guy was test driving his 1300 horsepower project car with his friend when out of nowhere the brakes failed and he had nowhere to go.
Hold on!
This trucker was waiting at a red light when he filmed an impatient BMW driver on his dashcam. The driver thought he could outsmart traffic by cutting through a parking lot to skip the red light. However, he couldn't get far since a cop witnessed the whole incident and immediately went after him. This woman was driving a rental car when she made a huge mistake that cost her thousands of dollars. She was texting on her phone with both hands and wasn't paying any attention to the road. Later, she even had the audacity to lie to the owner, claiming another driver had run her off the road. This woman was driving in the UK when she noticed 4 men dumping trash on the street. But when she honked at them, they got furious and 2 of them suddenly approached her car.
What do you think you're doing? It's illegal, dumping rubbish. What do you think you're doing?
And once they saw the dashcam, things got even worse.
Stop! The camera! The camera! Give me your camera!
Get off!
Trying to get away, the filming driver started reversing, but one of them even jumped onto her car's hood.
For God's sake!
These drivers thought they could outsmart traffic by moving to another lane, but they completely missed one important sign. They were impatient and wanted to pass the truck ahead, but they had no idea their decision would backfire in the most satisfying way possible. Because by the time they realized they had entered a driveway for work traffic, it was already too late and they had nowhere to go. This guy was driving on the highway when suddenly a gray car pulled into his lane and dangerously brake-checked him. After the collision, the driver immediately exited his car and started blaming the filming driver for what happened. However, with both a witness and the dashcam footage against him, his insurance scam attempt backfired and he was found at fault. This reckless driver is about to get instant karma for brake-checking a bus in Hungary. After the collision, the idiot exited his car and immediately started blaming the bus driver for what happened. He even ended up lying to the insurance company, but once they saw the video, he was found at fault and lost his license. This trucker was driving on an empty road when he suddenly became the target of an insurance scammer. Out of nowhere, the driver cut him off and brake-checked him. The filming trucker immediately slammed on his brakes and swerved into the right lane to avoid a collision. But the reckless driver didn't stop there and overtook the trucker again, only to brake-check him once more. After the collision, the idiot exited his car and started blaming the filming trucker. But the dashcam proved what happened and he was found at fault. This guy was driving on the highway when a black Jeep suddenly overtook him and brake-checked him. The filming driver immediately tried to change lanes to get away from him, but the road-raging driver didn't give up and moved with him every time to block him. This went on for a while, but then suddenly a cop appeared and pulled him over. This ambulance was responding to a call when a reckless driver suddenly began tailgating it to get through traffic quicker. But the Mercedes driver had no idea his decision was about to backfire. Because moments later, a convenient cop ordered him to pull over, and with the help of another driver, he was immediately stopped. This ambulance was responding to a call when a reckless driver suddenly began tailgating it to get through traffic quicker. But the Mercedes driver had no idea his decision was about to backfire. Because moments later, a convenient cop ordered him to pull over, and with the help of another driver, he was immediately stopped. This guy was approaching a traffic light when a reckless driver suddenly got mad at him and tried to block his path. But when the filming driver honked at him, he got even angrier and pulled up beside him yelling insults. Feeling threatened, the camera drove away, but the idiot immediately chased after him. However, seconds later, as he tried to cut in front of the filming driver, he miscalculated the maneuver and slammed into another car. This trucker was driving in California when a road-raging driver suddenly overtook him and dangerously brake-checked him. The trucker couldn't stop in time and completely destroyed the back of his car. However, he still tried to blame the trucker, but the dashcam exposed him and he had to pay for the damages. This guy was driving on a busy highway when a reckless driver suddenly overtook him on the shoulder and hit his car. But instead of taking responsibility, the idiot took off and tried to flee the scene. However, a convenient cop noticed him speeding and immediately went after him to serve him his well-deserved karma. This kid was traveling with his grandpa when they noticed a pickup truck dangerously towing a heavy road roller. Seconds later, the roller came loose and smashed into an oncoming vehicle.
Oh my God!
Without wasting a second, the kid and his grandpa got out of their car and rushed over to help the driver.
Yo. Hey, you good? Are you okay? Yeah.
This guy was calmly driving with his family when a reckless driver suddenly overtook him from the turning lane. But moments later, the SUV driver doubled down and dangerously overtook yet another car. However, he had no idea he was about to get some well-deserved karma, because this time he managed to cut off a cop who immediately pulled him over. This guy was calmly driving with his family when a reckless driver suddenly overtook him from the turning lane. But moments later, the SUV driver doubled down and dangerously overtook yet another car. However, he had no idea he was about to get some well-deserved karma, because this time he managed to cut off a cop who immediately pulled him over. This trucker was about to merge when a reckless driver suddenly blocked his path. But when the filming trucker honked at him, the driver completely lost it and exited his car for a confrontation. However, he made a huge mistake and quickly regretted his decision. This guy was driving in Utah when a road-raging driver suddenly overtook him and brake-checked him.
In hell, man!
But when he couldn't cause a collision, he reversed straight into the cam car.
Are you hitting me?
Then he drove away like nothing happened but didn't get far before he got arrested. This guy was driving in Utah when a road-raging driver suddenly overtook him and brake-checked him.
In hell, man!
But when he couldn't cause a collision, he reversed straight into the cam car.
Are you hitting me?
Then he drove away like nothing happened but didn't get far before he got arrested. This guy was driving on the highway when a road-raging idiot suddenly overtook him and dangerously brake-checked him. But he didn't stop there and kept slamming on his brakes even though he had 2 kids in the car. Then he stopped in the middle of the highway and began blaming the filming driver for the collision. However, the dashcam proved what happened and he was charged with reckless driving. This guy was crossing a bridge casually eating his cookie when a reckless driver suddenly began merging into his lane without signaling. But instead of giving him space, the filming driver performed a perfect pit maneuver, sending the truck spinning into the railing. Then without even reacting, he checked his side mirror and kept on eating his snack. This guy was approaching a red light when a reckless driver suddenly hit his car as he tried to cut in front of him. But instead of pulling over, the idiot stopped in the middle of the road and got out to blame the filming driver. He even ended up lying to the cops about what happened, but since it was all caught on dashcam, he was found at fault. This guy was driving toward an intersection when the driver in front suddenly brake-checked him. The Honda driver was furious because he thought the camera had cut him off earlier, so he got in front of him and brake-checked him to a complete stop. The road-raging driver then exited his car and tried to intimidate the filming driver. However, he couldn't escape karma since the video was sent to the police and he was arrested. This trucker was driving in the UK when a reckless driver suddenly merged in front of him and brake-checked him for no reason. The filming trucker immediately slammed on his brakes but couldn't stop in time and rear-ended the Honda. But things only got worse when the Honda driver tried to pull over on the merging lane and got hit again. Then he tried blaming the trucker, but the dashcam proved him wrong. This guy was being aggressively tailgated by an annoying driver who got so close he almost hit the cam car. But even after that, the pickup driver kept tailgating. However, the filming driver was about to teach him a lesson he wouldn't forget. Because as he got too close again, the camera suddenly slammed on his brakes, causing the airbags to explode right in the tailgater's face. This guy was calmly driving in New York when a reckless driver suddenly sped past him on the grass. The SUV driver had been road raging for a while and almost rear-ended the camera multiple times. But he had no idea karma was just around the corner, because moments later, he hit 2 storm drains and badly damaged his car. This guy was approaching a tunnel when he came across a small traffic jam. The SUV in front stopped to let a truck through, but the driver behind him got tired of waiting and decided to move ahead. However, his plan quickly backfired as he came face-to-face with the massive truck and had to reverse all the way to the end of the waiting line. This road-raging SUV driver is about to get instant karma for messing with a trucker on the highway. He got mad over a previous incident and wanted to intimidate the trucker by swerving into his lane. However, he had no idea the trucker would retaliate and force him off the highway, giving him the karma he deserved. These truckers were driving on a busy highway when a bunch of impatient drivers started passing them on the shoulder. Moments later, another driver sped up and tried to cut in front of the filming trucker. However, the truck in front had enough and decided to teach him a lesson. He suddenly swerved onto the shoulder and blocked the path, forcing